Good evening. Welcome back to another episode of KJ's What Happened. Thanks for being here. We missed a week last week because it's been a really slow week last week on Stranger News, and I had maybe a good dozen stories. It's just not worth it. I don't want to just do a short show or anything. So I waited, picked up some more stuff over the last week, and I think we got a solid show here. So thanks again for being here. Those of you that like my videos, I've got a new one I just finished this afternoon. I'm going to upload it in the morning. That'll help out with traffic. It's hard enough to get all the traffic on your videos, man. I mean, I've got 500,000 subscribers, and I can't remember the last time I have a video that had 500,000 views. It just never really works out that way. So you got to do what you got to do to get the right kind of traffic, and that's what I'm doing. So I'll put that up, and then it's on to the next one. I've already got another video I'm working on too. Real quick, too, before I start, I jumped in chat for a little bit before I started here. I blocked somebody. I don't always block, but, well, I mean, actually, I will. I've been doing it for years. I've had to. Running a channel like this, all the rando little creeper trolls out there, along with government trolls and everything else, I'm real diligent about just blocking. So some guy on there was talking about tired of these YouTubers that are scared to talk about controversial subjects so they don't lose their channel. I'm guessing that was levied at me. That's an old troll tactic. This is 101. I've seen that one for years. Okay, Jay, why don't you make a video about the New Zealand shootings? Okay, that's a good idea. I cover everything I cover, but I have to do it low key. You know what I mean? So I get everything out that I want to get out. And even with the shooting, the New Zealand thing, I'm already working on a little something I'll put up on the website. That stuff's toxic on YouTube now, unfortunately, man. I mean, YouTube's really hardcore about that. And I don't see it as a badge of honor for losing a channel. I mean, I lost one 6 years ago. It sucks. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So, we have to be wise as the serpent these days here on YouTube. And if you want to continue spreading truth and, getting things out there, you got to really maneuver around some of their rules that change constantly. And it's always these channels with 0 subs or like a handful trying to get me to talk about stuff like that, Yeah. Make a video on the New Zealand shooting, man. Hey, man, make a bunch of videos about pedophiles, man, and put that in the title. Oh, okay. That's a good idea. No, thanks. All right. But I can tell you, I've been here on YouTube for years. I've been, I guess it's been since 2011. So I've been on here a long time, man. I've seen a lot of changes here, and I'm happy I'm able to still get my videos out there, and I always say what I want to say and get out what I want to get out. I'm also not just some news channel here. I don't cover every event that happens. There's plenty of channels out there that do that. You can go find them. I see my videos as something different, but anyway, I'm rambling, and we're just getting started. So let's go ahead and get moving. Hey, guys, too, I saw a lot of you in the chat. Thanks so much, man. I appreciate everyone for being here. Hope you had a good week, and let's get started. This one's from The Independent. Anesthetic could be used to wipe bad memories and phobias from people's minds. This reminds me of that old Jim Carrey movie, something about the spotless mind or something, where you could go and get your bad memories removed, and how dangerous that could be, right? You guys ever see that? Jim Carrey definitely went off the rails, but he's got a handful of pretty decent movies out there, from the past. But unfortunately, it's so hard to separate the artist from the art now, isn't it? I mean, it's like being awake and aware to this kind of stuff, especially the symbols and everything. It makes it harder, and which it's a good thing. It keeps you from any kind of hero worship, but on the other end, sometimes it makes it hard just to watch a movie and be able to enjoy a story, because you see all these actors and actresses that are, a little cuckoo, outside of their work, and it just ruins it. Anyway, giving patients a dose of anesthetic could help them to recover from past trauma or even cure phobias. If people are asked to recall painful memories shortly before being knocked out by the drug propofol, scientists found those memories were noticeably weaker the next day. Anything from a fear of spiders to post-traumatic stress disorder could potentially be relieved if researchers can work out how to harness this effect in patients. Scientists used to assume, that once a memory had formed in someone's mind, it was virtually impossible to target and eliminate. Experiments in rodents gradually revealed this was not the case, but the procedures being used, such as injecting substances into rats' brains, were not suitable for humans. Firing electric shocks through the heads of people with severe depression turned out to be an effective way to erase bad memories. But this was not ideal. Electroshock therapy, right? Electroconvulsive therapy is a very invasive treatment. So if you're thinking long-term of how to selectively target emotional memories that produce problems, and we can do something simpler, that would be better. As people undergoing such treatments are also given anesthetic drugs, Dr. Strange, wow, that's actually his name. Dr. Strange, that's great. Here's Dr. Brian Strange. As people undergoing such treatments are also given anesthetic drugs, Dr. Strange and his team wondered if these were playing a role in the selective memory loss. When sedated in hospitals, he noted that patients show some amnesia for the period before their procedure, although this memory loss does not extend to their wider lives. To test the idea, the team began by asking 50 participants to watch slideshows telling emotional stories, including a boy involved in a car accident and an attack on a young woman. After a week had passed, they were shown parts of the slideshow to jog their memories before being injected with propofol. Half of the subjects were then asked to recall the story 24 hours later, as well as a story that had not been reactivated in their minds prior to sedation. The researchers found that those participants could not remember the reactivated as well as the non-reactivated story. Wow. Wow. What was interesting about the effects of propofol was that it was very selective for the emotional component of the story, said Dr. Strange. Dr. Strange. A lot of Illuminati symbolism and stuff, or satanic type symbolism in his movie. I don't know if you saw that movie. It's all over the Marvel and DC universe anyway, all that stuff. They're basically demigods in a way. Anyway, noting it was the moments of violence or injury that proved harder to recall. If unpleasant memories can be isolated, potentially using virtual reality, he said phobias that can be traced to specific events, such as a crashing of a car, could also be isolated and dealt with. And Dr. Strange says it's certainly worth a try. Dr. Strange. I like that name, Dr. Strange. I don't know, it's just something I'd stumbled on. I wanted to share. Rapper DMX delivers prayer about God's favor at Kanye West's growing Sunday service. And here's just some images here, but I guess every Sunday, I guess Kanye's got this thing where they go up into the mountains and they have a Sunday service outside. Some pictures down here. It's a video. I don't know what to think about this. I like to think, I'm not so black and white like everybody out in Hollywood has sold their soul. I mean, obviously some have, but I like to think, I know maybe I'm just being naive here, but I like to think and give the possibility that maybe some of these people actually do believe in God, huh? I mean, sometimes they think him. Hopefully it's our Heavenly Father God and not Lucifer, but I like to try to give people the benefit of the doubt. And just because these are celebrities, God can do incredible things. God can work through all kinds of people and change people's hearts and minds. So, I haven't been to Kanye's prayer thing he does up on the mountain. Be interesting to go, wouldn't it? But, if their hearts are real with it, and it's really about the Lord, really about Christ, really about God, really about fellowship and his word and everything, that's fantastic, man. But I don't know. I'm not saying that they're in the clear. Okay. I'm just throwing it out there that, it's nice to see that. I mean, maybe it's a cover because they're all truly wicked. I don't know. Here's some of it. But see, even this here, so they're all in black. Okay, I guess. And he's got the Mother Goddess stuff, on his back. The Mother Mary stuff. Female rival even and all this. You know what? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the final religion, the one world religion, is going to be comprised of a bit of everything, right? And I did a video a long time ago where I posed the question, what if the Antichrist, what if it's not Obama and some of these other people that a lot of us are watching, but what if it's a character that, comes from out of an orb or a spaceship or something, or just manifests right out of nowhere, like in DC or something. And this character looks exactly like that figure of Jesus we've been given all of our lives, this image of Jesus they've put in our heads. Rome did this, right? A lot of people think it's Caesar Borgia or Constantine or whatever, but because Jesus is described in the Bible, but more as just kind of an average man, right? Not like he's, and that would actually play to exactly who he is. I mean, God requires, us to be humble as well. So God's got that spirit. So if God comes back to the earth in human form, he's not going to come back as a freaking rock star or, automatically be an emperor or a king or something like that. Or be the hottest dude on the block. I mean, he's going to be an average guy with very humble beginnings. It makes sense to me. So maybe these are the kind of, worshipers that are going to fall for, that kind of a thing. I don't know. Or whatever the Antichrist is going to wind up being, whoever it is. I don't know. Again, it's a tough one. I mean, I keep an open mind, though, to these things, and I'd like to think, again, I'm not saying these guys are all bad just because of the Mother Mary. It's just artwork. Maybe it's a friend of his T-shirt that he created. Who knows? And then all the guys and gals were in black. But I don't know. It just feels weird, doesn't it? Feels weird. Seems weird. But are you with me that, I like to keep an open mind, and I like to think that, some of these celebrities out there. Well, I didn't hear the prayer, but this guy's saying DMX's prayer is very biblical. Reminds me of the Pharisee in Luke 18:9-14. Okay. I don't know. I'll keep an open mind. I thought that was cool that these guys are out there doing this. And, it's better than hiding in the shadows and sacrificing humans to the devil. Right? But really, we'll keep an eye on this. I don't know. What to think. A little all over the map on that one, I guess. Here's one for the flat earthers in the audience. I know I have some flat earther friends out there. Again, I'm not into the flat earth, but I'm glad we can still be pals and not let that subject separate us. Flat earth supporters now plan an Antarctica. I've been waiting on this. An Antarctica expedition to the edge of the world. I love it. I love it. They should film this too. I'm sure it's probably a reality show or something, but let's see. A growing community of theorists who believe the world is actually flat is organizing conventions, cruises, a planned television series, there it is, and future expeditions to uncover what they believe are the hidden truths and mysteries of the world. All right, I can get on board with that. Even controversial YouTube star Logan Paul recently expressed his desire to journey to the edge of the earth and released a mockumentary called The Flat Earth, To the Edge and Back, giving many flat earthers hope for a well-known supporter, but in the end, it was just a publicity stunt. Right? While I am certainly not a flat earther, I'm always intrigued by the mystery of our planet and can't ignore the dedicated and growing flat earth organizations and followers throughout the world. Exactly. It is huge. Whether it was started off a psyop or not, okay, at this point, a lot of people are hooked. So it is what it is, and they would tell me that, it's because they've woken up to the truth of it, and the rest of us are still asleep. It goes round and round, right? But it says, I had a chance to speak with dozens of flat earth supporters to talk about exploring Antarctica and to get their response to the recent, highly publicized journey across Antarctica by Colin O'Brady. Recently, YouTube star Logan Paul attended the Flat Earth International Conference in Denver and spoke on stage to the attendees about his interest in the subject. He was there filming a mockumentary for YouTube and talked at length about Flat Earth with conference founder Robbie Davidson. I don't even want to talk about Logan Paul. That's all just mindless nonsense. All right, anyway, there we go. Flat Earth supporters now plan an Antarctica expedition to the edge of the world. Coming soon to a television set near you. Just a short one. I'm not even going to play the video or get into the story. Kingsbury he's the I think he's the coach, or is he the owner? He's the coach of the Arizona Cardinals. But this whole article is about how they can't even hold a long meeting anymore with the team. Like every 20 minutes now, he's decided to start giving them cell phone breaks so they can go plug back into social media again, catch up on tweets, Facebook, texts, whatever. But isn't that, it's kind of scary to me, I mean, this is on ESPN. It's not like they're trying to expose anything or whatever. It's just basic news for them. They probably thought it was kind of funny, but to me, it's scary. It's just another example of how people really get addicted to this stuff. And between you and I honestly can't stand my phone most of the time. I don't like being able to be found so easy. It's just a thing with me, especially when I get working on a project or something. I just don't want to be bothered. And I'm bad about returning texts and calls and stuff like that. So, and it's no offense to the people or anything. It's just, I get in my own headspace with stuff sometimes for days on end, and I just need to stay there, But anyway, there you go. People addicted to that technology. Well, this is unfortunate, but bad word there. Bad word alert, folks. Ex-Marilyn Manson bandmate says Kurt Cobain should burn down there for being a blanking thief. Look at this person, though. I think that was the cover on the thumbnail. That's why I clicked it. I was like, what is this thing? And I guess that Madonna Wayne Gacy was his name, posts on social media about similarities between Nirvana hits and Blue Oyster Cult and Killing Joke songs. So even though this guy seems really foul and gross, and I would never wish anybody to burn down there, he actually had some good points. But, this is what they call in the industry cribbing, which is just a nice way of saying stealing, basically. Rappers do it all the time, right? Hip hop's all about it. They'll take like a riff from a really popular song, a really solid riff, and then just rhyme words over it, basically, a lot of the time, Anyway, if you ever want to go check this out, maybe not the gross article, but what he found I thought was interesting. Smells Like Teen Spirit. Play that with Blue Oyster Cult Godzilla. Checking out the riffs on those. Very interesting. This one really blew me away, though. Nirvana, Come As You Are, and Killing Joke from the 80s. I used to like Killing Joke back in the 80s myself. But that right there was very interesting. Come As You Are and Killing Joke from the 80s. All right, that's it. Just want to share that. You look that up for yourself if you're like. If you're interested. Here's a weird one I've been really watching closely. And, they'll have these really crazy stories that there's so much more to, and you're waiting for like a week or so or 2 weeks, and then nothing ever comes out. And they never follow up. And I feel like hopefully this isn't one of them, because I'd like to know more. Not that they're even going to tell us the entire truth, right? But anything that happens around the Church of Scientology with a guy with a sword, count me in as far as being interested. Man with a sword fatally shot by police at Church of Scientology in Inglewood. 2 officers struck by gunfire. We'll see what they say here in this here news clip, I think.
It's not often that we see a suspect drive a Bentley into a crime scene, but that's the case here in Inglewood tonight. We don't know if this gentleman was actually part of the church or maybe an outsider who simply had an axe to grind. He's described to us only as an Asian male wearing a hoodie. And we still don't know how those 2 police officers got wounded, if in fact the suspect was wielding a sword. It was about 3:30 this afternoon. A man driving this cream-colored Bentley pulled up in front of the Church of Scientology here on Market Street in Inglewood. He took out a samurai sword similar to this one and began threatening people in the church lobby. One police officer arrived, then shortly another. They confronted the suspect inside the church and then gunfire.
And I heard a couple of shots and we get ready to take the trash out. And she said something was going on. I'm like, no.
Witnesses say 3 or 4 shots were fired. The suspect was transported here to UCLA Hospital, where he later died. One officer was also brought here. He was hit in the hand, another hit in the arm, but there's no mention of the suspect having a gun.
Well, that's what we're trying to determine. The crime scene is still fresh. There's a lot of evidence there that we have to process. There's video that we have to look at.
I happened to drive by.
Cabron Ferris's friend works there at the Scientology building.
Yeah, I just had to stop and see if she's okay, but they're not letting anybody in, and I haven't heard from her.
But she did get a text from her friend, which read in part, "Everyone is fine. A weird guy came in with a sword acting crazy. Police were called, and he was shot, basically."
But I am fine. Only the bad guys were shot. My phone is about to die, and I'm at the police station to be interviewed.
Police aren't saying yet if a gun belonging to the suspect has been recovered, or if the officers maybe caught each other in a crossfire or a ricochet.
We don't know that yet. Anything's a possibility at this point, but we're still trying to sift through the evidence to determine what actually took place.
As for a motive, it's unclear if the Bentley driver is a disgruntled church member who maybe came here to settle a score, or just an armed man who decided to terrorize these church members. And back out here live, the Church of Scientology released a statement tonight saying, "We thank the Inglewood Police Department for their rapid response in protecting our parishioners and staff members."
It's pretty wild, huh? I mean, I wonder what that dude was all about. I wonder what he was on, if anything. It's scarier if people do stuff like that and they're not on something, you know? They're clear-headed, they're sober, and they go attack people at a church, Scientology church, with a sword. And a nice ride. The guy had a night. This guy's got some money. So, I mean, that's just weird, right? But then, I don't know. But this was very interesting. Oscar-winning production designers call high school alien play, quote, deeply visionary. This really kind of blew me away. We're going to play a little bit of this. 40th anniversary of Ridley Scott's iconic Alien received a stunning homage Friday night. A student production from a New Jersey high school drama club went viral. Twitter was abuzz with video footage and industry praise, including a shout-out from Adam Savage of Mythbusters. March 19th and 22nd, North Bergen High School staged a faithful adaptation titled Alien the Play. That's really all you need to know. I'm going to play some of this. I think there's some clips down here. Yeah, let's check this out. This is wild. These kids really went there.
Tennessee Miss New Jersey High School puts on a spring play that was just out of this world. Wow. See the alien? Cool. Xenomorph invaded the stage at North Bergen High School. Students performed their version of Ridley Scott's classic Aliens. I'm so nervous. Twice last week, the Doors were there, the space jockeys were there. Drama Club didn't skimp on the costumes or the special effects, right? Isn't that amazing?
Now wait, are they playing it straight or is it a spoof? No, I mean they played it straight. It's like drama.
If it was a spoof, they would have had the airlock.
Yeah.
Good point. So they raised the money to put on this play. The students used recycled materials to create the costumes and the props. I mean, everybody was thinking that they brought in like a professional designer for this. This video was posted on Twitter Saturday. Guess how many views it already has?
I'm going to say
2.75
million.
What? How did we get that?
Give me information.
Congrats to them, though. Seriously,
Really?
that is a heck of an effort.
Exactly.
I think back about my school plays and didn't look anything like that.
I would alley hack them.
I was the
They called Starlight.
I was the lead and the boyfriend back in eighth
Actually, you know, one of the doom breaks tonight has to do with the morning news team. Wait till you see this. It's a doom break for sure, but it's very cringy. You'll see what I mean in a little bit. You know, I'm just fascinated with this story because, and I know I could hear people out there, okay, Jay, it's New World Order mind control, aliens, a movie, and demons get into you through the, whoa, calm down. I'm a very creative person, and I come from a background where even in high school, I was in drama club and stuff. I did that for a couple of years and didn't always go. I was kind of naughty in high school, but I did enjoy it when I was there. But I went to film school and made a lot of short films and things like that. And I love to write, so I'm a big fan of creativity. And just thought that was really cool, the creativity these kids put into that and what they did. Big fan of creativity and art. Simon Cowell breaks 2-year social media silence with rare pic of mini-me son Eric 5. Take a look. The only reason I'm bringing this one up is I've read some stuff throughout the years about celebrities creating their own children. We've seen some weird stories pop up here and there. I should do a whole video. I always have subjects I'm interested in and I'm looking for and waiting on stories to pop up and whatever. Then I'll start making videos, you know, but that's one I've been seeing is how there's a lot of celebrities that are into this, apparently, that, you know, they're forming their children, you know, before they, what's that called? Manipulating DNA and stuff like this or whatever. Anyway, I thought that was just, look at this. He looks like, you know, I don't know. And if anybody would be involved and have the money for something like that, I'd think it'd be Simon Cowell. He seems like, you know, a narcissist, or at the very least, a pretty hardcore narcissist. And, you know, why not create his own mini-me, even as the news story says, you know, and put his own DNA or whatever, manipulate the DNA. Anyway, that's what I thought when I saw the picture. I was just, I wonder if he, you know, or yeah, hey, you know, it's his kid. Maybe that's just how it turned out, right? You know, I mean, I don't know, but I've seen stories about this stuff, about celebrities that do this. I don't know. There's a term for it, better than manipulating DNA, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. But you guys know what I mean. Some people can do this kind of stuff. Cloning and things like that as well is out there, right? So I don't know. Just random bit, I guess. You're going to throw it out there. There's a picture of Simon Cowell, another one. I guess he's big into jet skis. You can look this one up. Some of you probably had never heard of this. You can look it up online. Just look up Simon Cowell Freemason and look up images. And you'll see him on another one of those jet skis with a massive Freemason symbol on the front of it. Like actually looks like a sticker. More than one reality exists. Shocking study says. I like this one. This will probably be in a video in the future. If you've ever questioned the nature of your reality, a new study suggests that there are actually 2 different versions of it, at least at the quantum level. The pre-published study found in Arvix sheds new light on the complex idea that 2 people could see the same photon, come to different conclusions about the photon, yet still both be correct. In quantum mechanics, the objectivity of observations is not so clear, most dramatically exposed in Eugene Wigner's eponymous thought experiment, where 2 observers can experience fundamentally different realities. The researchers wrote the study. While observer independence has long remained inaccessible to empirical investigation, recent no-go theorems construct an extended... These are a lot of big words, and I'm getting bored. I don't want to read all these big science words. Well, let's keep it simple. Anyway, more than one reality exists. Shocking study finds. Sounds like it's going to be a bunch of boring science talk. So I don't know. Maybe I won't use this in the future. We'll see. All right. Thanks, Fox News. Mount Everest glaciers are melting, and it's exposing the bodies of dead climbers. This is like something out of a horror novel. Not even Mount Everest appears immune to global warming. Ha! Global warming. And a new concern has emerged as a result of glacial melting, exposed bodies. Melting ice and snow on Everest, caused by higher temperatures, is revealing the bodies of dead climbers, CNN reported. I wonder if this is even a real story. Now, CNN, global warming. CNN reported more than 200 people have died on Everest Peak since 1922. It's a short story. I mean, is that even... I wonder, see, these are things it's from CNN already. This is the time we're in, guys. This is our reality now. I mean, we really have to... You got to question everything. Everything. You know, it's not that I need to see pictures of these dead bodies, but you know, I figured they may have something in there, maybe blurred out, or the bodies would probably be hard to tell the features anyway by this point. But I don't know. Am I wrong? This feels weird. CNN pushing some global warming stuff. First sentence. Not even Mount Everest appears immune to global warming. And that's all Agenda 2030 stuff. New World Order. UN agenda stuff. I don't know. I don't like this story now. Show me some dead frozen bodies. Okay. Oh, and it came out on March 22nd, 322. That's interesting. Skull and bones. Perhaps. Billionaire diamond trader reportedly dies during wiener enlargement procedure. This is cray. A billionaire diamond trader went to an upscale medical clinic in Paris for a wiener enlargement and wound up dead, the victim of a heart attack, which reportedly struck while he was under the knife. I won't even try to pronounce his name, but he ultimately died from complications during surgery. The Belgian-Israeli dual national was said to have suffered the deadly heart attack just moments after getting an unknown substance injected into his wiener. Citing Belgian media reports, the Sun on Wednesday claimed Lanyado, I can say that, was a victim of the so-called Napoleon complex, meaning he was obsessed with his small size. The diamond trader always focused on his appearance and how others perceived him, according to one friend. He reportedly checked his bank account multiple times a day just to make himself feel better. It turned out that he did have some talents, explained one friend. Internationally, he was one of the biggest experts in valuing raw diamonds. While Laniado's net worth is unknown, he had been forced to hand over more than $5 billion in penalties. $5 billion? In penalties to Belgian authorities after getting into trouble for tax evasion? How do you owe a government $5 billion? I don't even know about that. It's New York Post. It's not like this is the Sun or something. I'll still pop a Sun story every now and then, but we got to question all of it. You know, I just find the stuff, and it's the stuff I'm gravitate towards anyway, all the weirdest stuff throughout the weeks. I'm not verifying, you know, just by doing the shows that every one of these is a true story, you know. You don't know. That's why I like doing these with you guys. And I'll just put them in folders and we read it together most of the time. Some of these I'll read ahead, but a lot of times I'll just wait and read it with you guys and kind of figure it out together, you know. Humans of the future could regrow limbs, DNA switch that controls genes for regeneration used by worms to grow back their bodies after being cut in half is discovered. That's a mouthful right there. People could one day have the ability to grow back parts of their bodies after a DNA switch that could reactivate the... We read that. Animals like salamanders and geckos can shed parts of their bodies to escape predators and grow new ones that have been cut off in just a couple of months. Planarian worms and jellyfish go one step further by regenerating their whole bodies after being cut in half. Now, a team of scientists have examined genes of 3 banded panther worms to shed light on how they accomplish this. They found that a master control gene called early growth response, which is also found in humans and other animals, is responsible. Researchers from Harvard University discovered that a section of non-coding DNA, controversially labeled by some as junk DNA, controls the activation of EGR, which acts like a power switch for the regeneration process. Non-coding sections of DNA are not directly involved in the process of creating the proteins that trigger a whole host of biological processes. This led some to believe that these sections of our genes and those of other animals serve no useful purpose. More recent research has suggested that the picture is far more complicated, including Harvard's study. Humans already have the EGR switch that repairs cells, yet it does not seem to trigger large-scale regeneration. Scientists... On a side note, I remember being a little kid, and I remember being fascinated with having a cut, and every day I'm looking at it because I wanted to watch it grow, you know? I remember that, just being fascinated as a little kid that we could regenerate like that. I know. A bit of a side road there. Scientists now think that the gene is wired differently in humans and are now trying to find a way to change this to reap so that we can too regenerate. Sorry, I live out here in the country and by a highway out here, and I get the loudest motorcycles ever that drive by. That was another one. What we found is that one master gene comes on, and it's activating genes that are turning on during regeneration, said Dr. Andrew Gerke, a postdoctoral fellow. Basically, what's going on is the non-coding regions are telling the coding regions to turn on or off. So a good way to think of it is as though they are switches. It's cool. For that process to work, the DNA in the worm's cells, which is normally tightly folded and compacted, has to change, making new areas available for activation. Portions of these very tightly packed portions of the genome, the the full genetic code of the worms studied physically become more open, experts say. They act as regulatory switches to turn genes on or off, suggesting their genomes as dynamic and rapidly changing as different parts open and close. Well, that's cool. Be nice if we could fully regenerate, huh? Let's see what else we got up here. Hope y'all are doing good. Hope you're settled in. Got your favorite drink or edible, I guess, or, whatever. Spending time with someone you care for, whether it be a human or an animal. Hopefully it's an animal that isn't big enough to hurt you. I wouldn't suggest hanging out with animals like that. Look at this. Man has inside of his ears taken out in new body modification trend. That's we haven't seen. Well, we have actually. I think the last news show I had another body modification. So it's another trend we see. We see a lot of these body modification stories from week to week, I've noticed. Wow, look at that though, huh? So I guess this is the new thing. Body modification isn't exactly a new phenomenon. We saw this guy last year who started identifying as a transhumanist with more than 100 modifications, including silicone horns. But recently, a man went the extra mile when he traveled all the way from Australia to the Calm Body Modification Studio in Stockholm, purely to get the insides of his ears cut out. Yep, you read that right. According to the studio's Facebook and Instagram, the procedure is called a conch removal and involves taking out the concha, the middle bit of the outer ear. It's also known as the auricle or the pinna. Wow. See that? That is crazy. The image is clearly taken quite soon after the removal took place, so might not look as grim once it's healed. People certainly had a lot to say about the conch removal. All right. Whoa. Wow. Someone did that to themselves. This is sad. Man, I just see it as, we already destroy what God's given us. All of us do. Eating wrong, smoking things, drinking things. Some people shoot things into their veins. And every other bad thing we do to ourselves. But, this just is the next level. And it's almost like I see that as just hate for God's creation, We've seen this in the past. I don't want to hang on that image too long. Sorry. We've seen this in the past, though, where a lot of these people who do these full transformations, like they'll turn into like Zombie Boy, I think was one, and there's a bunch of them, right? We've covered a lot of these people. Been 2 or 3 of them that we've seen have committed suicide, man. So I feel it's like the stuff starts from within, it manifests on the outside. So it's like a clear indication seeing people do some of these things. Not in every case. I'm saying the extreme cases. I know people that have some pretty weird things in their ears and stuff like that. Lots of tattoos and stuff. But, some people keep it on the moderation, keep it cool, keep it level, but they're not cutting their ears open or splitting their tongues in half, So, wow. That's something right there, huh? University wants to give animals and plants the same legal rights as humans in a multi-species justice project, which critics have slammed as utter madness. The university's push for plants and animals. Oh, you know what? I just... Okay, good. My ad block is on. I thought I turned it off. The university's push for plants and animals to have legal rights under multi-species justice has been slammed by critics. Researchers from the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences at the University of Sydney revealed the radical idea as part of their 6-themed Future Fix research program. According to the faculty's website, the future-facing research projects are aimed at creating solutions for issues of global importance. It's a cute picture. Hi, guys. You're cute. There we go. The idea of multi-species justice states the legal rights aren't just for humans, but rather it extends to plants and animals equally. Justice is typically thought to be the preserve of humans, and advocacy is sought to ensure all humans are subjects of justice, the faculty website states. But harms inflicted on animals and the environment are coming to be understood as injustices, right? Global warming. Also, in order to answer the question of how justice comes, this is what you get, right? This is what we get. In order to answer the question of how justice across the human and natural world would work, the faculty is set to host a series of 4 symposiums in June. Academics from around the globe, including California, Alabama, and parts of India, are believed to be heading down under to take part in the 4-day conference. According to schedule, the symposium will consist of a series of formal presentations that promote conversation, reflection, and future planning. Academics have been urged to bring their ideas to the table to help further explore the debate and think beyond liberal and individualist conceptions of justice. While the faculty itself has admitted multi-species justice is by no means simple, critics have slammed the school, saying academics have lost touch with reality. Institute of Public Affairs Western Civilization Director Dr. Bella told Telegraph multi-species justice is not a genuine problem faced by Australians. This is utter madness. Australian taxpayers need to be made aware that their hard-earned dollars are funding such frivolous and irrelevant research. The director claimed the same people who want to kill cows to stop climate change now want to give wombats the vote. That's great. Bumper sticker. But yeah, it's, global warming, right? This is what we get. Climate change. Okay. Such a fraud, man. Such a fraud. Did you ever watch that movie from Al Gore about global warming? Climate change. I forgot what it was called. Garbage. He's creepy too. I've always been creeped out by that Al Gore character. There's you could look up. There's a story. It was I believe it was a masseuse. If I'm not mistaken, it was a male masseuse. Came out a few years ago. I think he tried to put a case up against Al Gore for trying to touch him in naughty places during their masseuse session. Check that out. I'm pretty sure it was a guy. Could have been a girl. I don't know for sure, but I know that it's Al Gore. He's in a robe in a masseuse session with a man or a woman and tried to put his hands on their naughty bits or something. So you can look that up, okay? Don't quote me on this, but maybe you can find the story. I remember that from many years ago. I don't think the title would be Al Gore got caught putting his hands on someone's naughty bits, so I wouldn't put that in the search engine. But you'll find it. Just try different approaches, and please share it too. If you find it, let us know. This is whoa. This one's really wild too. Independent, and this is wow. Check this out. Sexual assault video game that wants to normalize RAPE, featured on Steam Store. A video game that encourages players to do that, RAPE, and murder women has provoked outrage after it was listed on a popular gaming platform alongside sexually explicit images and a description warning of violence, sexual assault, non-consensual sex, obscene language, necrophilia, and incest. Whoa. Rape Day. We'll just say it, I guess. RAPE Day. I don't like saying it. Again, I just try to stay away from the algorithms. I don't even monetize these shows anymore, man. They get you anyway. Rape Day appeared on the Steam Store online gaming platform. Desk Planet, the game's developer, claims it's a dark comedy. Wow, really? With necrophilia and incest and non-consensual sex with women? All right. Hey, it's a dark comedy. It's funny, guys. It's okay. It's funny, so we can do whatever we want, right? Hey, it's comedy. Valve's developer guidelines state that it will only remove games if they break the law or are straight up trolling. The lax approach, detailed in a lengthy blog post last year, saw Valve become the first major platform to host porn in a virtual reality. Describing the game, the developer says players can control the choices of a menacing serial killer rapist during a zombie apocalypse. I mean, who wants to play this? I don't know. Who plays these things? What's scary is some of your kids. It's the little ones. They like the most shocking, crazy stuff. So there's probably some little ones out there playing some of this stuff out here. It compares it it compares itself to Grand Theft Auto in terms of the moral questions it raises, and that's a filthy game too. I played like maybe the first one years ago with a friend, but never any more of them. I've covered some of the just symbols in the game and things that happen in the game. It's filled with occult stuff and Illuminati symbolism, satanic. Actually, there's a Satan room in one of the games you can go in and you have to sacrifice something. I mean, it's terrible, all that stuff. But murder has been normalized in fiction while rape is yet to be normalized, the game's website states. Well, that's a good thing. We don't want RAPE to be normalized, right? An online petition calling for the game to be banned has received more than 1,000 signatures since it launched last week. RAPE is not a game, and the makers of this should not be allowed to make money promoting this and killing women. This is only going to vilify that non-consensual sex and violence towards women. You're trying to stop this happening worldwide, and yet this game is now being sold to anyone, any age, who has access to a credit card. Huh. It's a creepy picture. Anyway. They actually have a game for this, for people to do these things. What happens in a little one's imagination, a 10, 11-year-old kid? I was a little stinker as a boy. I'm sure most of you guys were too. And I was always trying to find the most shocking stuff, grossest movies on Cinemax and HBO, horror films and whatever, right? It's the most shocking thing you could find. It's the way I was as a little kid. But, I'm not saying I would, I wouldn't have enjoyed something like this, but as a little kid, I'd be like, whoa, they're talking, it's a dangerous game. And but I don't know. I take that back. This is different. Normalizing RAPE, that is way different. So I don't think I would be attracted to this. But, obviously people are. I'm sure people are out there. Yeah. But no, I wouldn't be attracted to this. Mine was just mainly horror films as a kid. Anyway, this is next level right here. Teaching little ones about even just those subjects, introducing them to the idea of necrophilia and things, right? Sweden, population 10.2 million, offers asylum to China's over 10 million Uyghur Muslims. Some of this is in my newest video, this subject here. Not this, but it's about the borders. Pentagram. Well, there's I know the crescent moon and the star, but his star is upside down, right? The decision was made this week by the Swedish Migration Board to ease up the regulations of Uyghur Muslims claiming asylum in Sweden, saying that they, along with other persecuted Muslims, would be welcome. Carl Bexelius, deputy legal chief at the Migration Board, expanded on the reasons for the move, saying, "What we have seen is that it is rather far-reaching state repression, where one can seize and detain persons without actual criminal charges. You're placed in what is described as a retraining camp. This happens arbitrarily." This move could have real consequences for Sweden, a country of 10.2 million people by 2018 estimates, due to the fact that the Uyghur population in China is estimated to be up to 11 million people, according to Chinese state statistics. Over the last year, the Chinese government has severely cracked down on the Uyghur Muslims in its western Xinjiang region, where up to 1 million people are believed to have been detained and sent to re-education camps across the region. In 2015, Sweden took in only a fraction of 1 million people, around 163,000 asylum claims, which amounted to a cost of around $600 billion. Yeah, this is, I cover some of this how in my newest video about, and I'll putting up tomorrow, about how this is the way they destroy empires. This is one of the ways they destroy empires, is flooding them with whole new cultures. So there you go. The mysterious booms are back in Birmingham. This is from 322 as well, March 22nd. Mysterious booms heard across Alabama are back again after perplexing Alabamians For months last year, many residents heard a similar boom in Birmingham again around 10 a.m. Friday, March 22nd. I don't really get much into it, but, some people are curious about the mysterious booms. I am too. It seems every week or so there's another crop of them somewhere. This one too. We did a hum story a few weeks ago, and now you got this. What is that mysterious humming noise heard in Canton? If you live in Canton Township, you may have heard a low-pitched constant hum over the last few days. Many people have been asking, what is that noise? And the answer is no one really knows. Canton Police Lieutenant Jim Harrison says his department received several calls about the noise. I spoke to one homeowner who had been hearing it for some time now, but last night it was when we got multiple calls about it. He says, I've heard recordings of it, and I'm not sure what it is. Numerous residents have been filing social media accounts with their tales about a strange, annoying noise in recent weeks that was particularly loud Monday night. This girl says it's disturbing. We've had the pictures fall off the wall. Neighbors in Canton reporting strange and intense vibrations only at night. Since 2016, Windsor residents have been complaining about a mysterious humming noise. They even started a Facebook group called the Windsor Essex Country Hum. Internet research shows similar phenomena have been reported all across the globe. The Guardian newspaper in London ran a story over the weekend about the mysterious global hum. All right, this may be a video, because I've seen some other stories about the hum, and I'm already connecting it to some other things I've been looking at, so maybe that'll be a video too. Researchers at Caltech have designed a way to levitate and propel objects using only light by creating specific nanoscale patterning on the object's surfaces. Though still theoretical, the work is a step toward developing a spacecraft that could reach the nearest planet outside of our solar system in 20 years, powered and accelerated only by light. It's a cool concept. A paper describing the research appears online in the March 18th issue of the journal Nature Photonics. The research was done in the laboratory of Harry Atwater, Howard Hughes Professor of Applied Physics, and a bunch of other words. Decades ago, the development of so-called optical tweezers enabled scientists to move and manipulate tiny objects like nanoparticles using the radiative pressure from a sharply focused beam of laser light. This work formed the basis for the 2018 Nobel Prize in Physics. However, optical tweezers are only able to manipulate very small objects and only at very short distances. That's a weird name. I don't know how. Ognogen Illich, I don't know. Og, postdoctoral scholar and the study's first author, gives an analogy. One can levitate a ping pong ball using a steady stream of air from a hairdryer, but it wouldn't work if the ping pong ball were too big, or if it were too far away from the hairdryer, and so on. With this new research, objects of many different shapes and sizes, from micrometers to meters, could be manipulated with a light beam. That's so cool, though, to think about. It's interesting. The key is to create specific nanoscale patterns on an object's surface. This patterning interacts with light in such a way that the object can right itself when perturbed, creating a restoring torque to keep it in a light beam. Thus, rather than requiring highly focused laser beams, the object's patterning is designed to encode their own stability. The light source can also be millions of miles away. We have come up with a method that could levitate macroscopic objects, says Atwater, who is also director of a bunch of words. There's an audaciously interesting application to use this technique as a means for propulsion of a new generation of spacecraft. We're a long way from actually doing that, but we are in the process of testing out the principles. I think that's pretty cool, huh? Levitating objects with light. Oh, here's a good time. See, we've been at almost an hour. I'm going to take a short break and get a drink over here, so it'll just be like maybe a minute. But I wanted to show you this. I'll pull some up and you can start looking at it. If you want, you can actually go find this, but this is the real psychopath test. It's the psychopath test. They actually test inmates with this, and so it's real. You can look this up. It's on Vistrial, V-I-S-T-R. Oh wait, Vistri. So VISTRIAI.com backspace psychopath test backspace. If you want to go check this thing out. And yeah, this is it, man. This is the one. This is the HARE, H-A-R-E, the HARE psychopathy checklist. So you'd start with your age, and then you can kind of look at some of the questions they have. All right, I'll be right back. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, I'm back. Thanks. That wasn't too bad, huh? So how many of you have been doing this test here? I'll scroll down a little more. Some more of them. I mean, you know, I was a problem child, true or false? They're all true or false. I have difficulty staying committed to long-term goals. I frequently perform sloppy work. My romantic relationships usually fall apart quickly. I committed some crimes as a juvenile. I have violated a probation order. I have committed many types of crimes. I need to take risks to feel alive. I feel bad when I trick people. So you get the idea. There you go. One of them's I was a bully in high school. Hi. Here's Chubbs. What's up? Hi there, buddy. He's been laying down the whole time. Anyway, there you go. The psychopath test. You can go check it out. Find it online. And I hope you don't do well. Hope you fail it. That's a test you want to fail. What's up? Florida man attacked by neighborhood squirrel who has residents on high alert. I think this is a news story we'll watch here. Check this out. And I guess that's it. We'll watch again. This is the footage of the squirrel running up and attacking this guy. He grabbed it, threw it off. What? You got something to say? All right, one more time. Residents in eastern Sarasota are on guard this week. An aggressive squirrel has continuously terrorized a neighborhood, causing residents to act in an extreme abundance of caution. The offending rodent has gone after 4 people, using its claws and teeth to injure his victims. Security camera. Have you ever been attacked by a squirrel? That'd be terrifying. Because they're fast. They're little and they're fast and sharp teeth and sharp claws. Security cameras caught Saturday's sneak attack on a man who recognized the squirrel. I guess they'd been friends or something. I don't know. A neighbor in the area nursed the squirrel to health as a baby. He's named 8 Up after a race car and truck. Residents are on high alert as 8 Up is likely plotting his next attack. Huh. 8 Up. This is cute. Hi. You guys might have heard him. He's mumbling a little bit. Old Chubbs. So speaking of Chubbs and cats, this is simply called Cat Broken. Check this out. Hey. Has your cat ever done that? I've never seen Chubbs do that. Hi. He's right in front of the microphone. You got something to say? Huh? You never do. You never do when I want you to talk, huh? Move. Have you ever had a cat do something like that? I've never seen that before. That is crazy. What in the heck? This cat must be seeing like a portal to the second Earth. He's seeing a whole other reality. And in that reality, the other him is sitting there doing the same thing, looking back. They're just like eyes locked right now, looking through some portal into the other into the other reality. He's alive. There, his eyes moved a little bit. Cute little kitty. But yeah, kitty broken. Cat broken. Yeah, this isn't creepy at all. And another one that came out on 3/22, Skull and Bones, right? March 22nd. UPS plans to test new service to deliver vaccines in patients' homes. Yeah, there's nothing creepy about that at all, right? UPS is preparing to test a service in the U.S. later this year that would send nurses to vaccinate adults in their homes. While UPS didn't say which vaccine it would be using in the project, the news organization confirmed with pharma giant Merck, now you should be concerned if you weren't already, that is looking at participating in the initiative. This sounds wonderful. You don't even have to leave your home. They'll vaccinate you on your freaking couch. UPS did not immediately respond to a request for comment Friday morning. As Reuters reported, workers would package and ship the vaccine to franchised UPS stores. Then a home health nurse contracted by UPS clinical trial logistics company Marken would collect the package, transport it to the individual patient, and administer the vaccine on your frickin' couch. Marken already has a home health care offering in which it sends professionals to the home for study, drug administration, blood draws, EKGs, clinical assessments of vital signs, and patient and caregiver training. It also provides direct to and from patient services for clinical trials. But the reported move by the world's largest package delivery company would potentially expand the work into a much larger market. It would also be an apparent move to fend off competitors like Amazon, which has sought to build its own delivery model, has entered the drug distribution market with the acquisition of PillPack last year, and is also in the midst of building healthcare partnership Haven with Berkshire Hathaway and JP Morgan. Illuminati company, their big one. It would embrace a segment of the population that's far easier to deal with than established organizations like health systems. Last year, CNBC reported that Amazon decided to scrap plans to sell drugs to hospitals. Experts said the move was at least in part because hospitals are very set in their ways when it comes to supply chain management. Merck has a number of vaccines. A number of vaccines on the market for adults, including those to protect against shingles, hepatitis B, and pneumococcal bacteria. You know, we joke around a little bit, and even if some of these are okay and, you know, you need them or whatever, it's just the system's already in place to where it can be abused, even though I think it's already being abused. Lots of people get hurt by vaccines. Johns Hopkins chief psychiatrist, transgender is a mental disorder. Oh, this is an older story. I remember doing this one. I think I had this up for a video. I was going to put this in something. But anyway, while we're here, Johns Hopkins chief psychiatrist, transgender is a mental disorder. Prominent psychiatrist claims transgender individuals suffer from a form of mental illness and that gender reassignment is biologically impossible. On the heels of the American College of Pediatrics reaching the decision that transgenderism of children is child abuse, good. People are melting down everywhere. To be clear, people should be treated very seriously when attempting to rectify their feelings with surgery or dangerous hormone treatments because they do need help and fast. Can people reasonably disagree about a cure? I'm not going to read the whole thing. Older story, but still. Good to know. Some people are getting some truth out there on that situation. This is really weird. I didn't even know stuff like this existed. But now there's a place where grandmas can go hook up. It's like an island sex paradise for British grandmas, apparently. I didn't know is this to grandmas and grandpas probably I don't know, grandpas are probably just done with sex at a certain age, I'm sure, but I don't know. What do I know? I'm not a grandpa or a grandma. A horny granny grinds against her Gambian toy boy at the bar. I don't want to read a lot of that. Anyway, I'm not going to get much into it. I just thought this was weird. I didn't know that there's a thing. I guess there's an island where all these grandmas are going and they're hooking it up. There you go. Okay. What? All right, there you go. Check this out. This is nuts. We already had the Celine Dion situation. I did a video on that. I know a lot of other people, I'm sure, did. You can look into that clothing line of Celine Dion's, the gender fluid clothing line, filled with satanic imagery, hardcore satanic imagery, death cult imagery, Illuminati, quote unquote Illuminati symbolism. Now you got this with this baby clothes, again, targeted towards the most innocent of us all, the little ones. That's what's always so sick about this stuff. Online shoppers have been left outraged after spotting baby bodysuits for sale on Amazon with logos like Daddy's Little SLUT. Other tops from the Amazon seller Vanber had the logo Daddy's Little Wow, Daddy's Little F Toy, and Daddy's Drinking Buddy. The tops were on sale on the Canadian Amazon store for $18 and could be shipped to the UK for $8, but have since been removed after an outcry. Good. See, I like when people stand up. I didn't know anybody stood up on this already, but it's nice to see that, there was an outcry and people said, yeah, we can't have this. Okay. Adverts for the range of children clothes were shared on Facebook by outraged shoppers calling for people to boycott Amazon until they remove the garments. An Amazon spokesperson told Mail Online, all marketplace sellers must follow our selling guidelines, and those who don't will be subject to action, including potential removal of their account. The productions in question are no longer available. Gross. Onesie also. Daddy's Little F Toy as a onesie. Who thinks of stuff like this? It's sick minds behind this stuff. The tops came in a range of sizes for newborn babies aged 0 to 3 months up to children aged 2 years. Online shoppers were disgusted by the products and took to social media to share their outrage. One user wrote, people say this stuff being for sale on Amazon isn't Amazon's fault, as it isn't their product. Bull hockey. I've never heard anybody in real life ever say bull hockey. Have you ever heard that? Is that like maybe that's a regional type thing or something they say in some other country? But bull hockey, I've never heard anybody say that. It's not even worth trying to bring in. It's a very awkward word. Oh, bull hockey. How do you even say that with a straight face? Bull hockey. This isn't the second sickening items that's been found for sale. That's horribly written. This is the second sickening items. Should have been like the second of, or I don't know. This is the second. I don't know. It could have been written differently, right? This is the second sickening items that's been found for sale via their platform in a couple of days. Sort it out, they say angrily. And I say bull hockey. There's Daddy's Little whatever. Sheesh, man, onesie. So gross. 6 months. The baby grows are advertised as sizing for those as young as, okay, we got that. Anyway, there you go. I think we get it. Daddy's Little Drinking Buddy. Not cute. Ugh, this stuff just always just, dudes, why? Men's cuddling group aims to redefine masculinity and heal trauma. I mean, I would bet my bottom dollar that 95% of these men are homosexual. I'm just throwing it out there. Because most dude bros I know, we don't want to spend time cuddling with each other. Now, if there is a cuddling group of ladies that maybe wanted to cuddle, even that's gross and weird to me. But I'm saying I would choose that first before ever even considering cuddling with a bunch of dudes. So just looking at them, I'm guessing. My gaydar isn't always the best, but I don't know. I just can't think of a lot of straight men that want to do this. Let's read. Twice a month, half a dozen men gather in... Half a dozen? Okay, well, it's whatever. Half a dozen men gather in Plymouth meeting to help each other work through past traumas. Their chosen method of healing, cuddles. It may seem odd, but members of the men's therapeutic cuddle group say the practice has helped them cope with everything from childhood sexual abuse to the loss of family members when they were young. The 2-year-old group draws men from various backgrounds, a 37-year-old Mormon who works as an airport gate agent, a 57-year-old married father of 3, okay, a 62-year-old retiree, and there's a range of sexual orientations. Excuse me. At a time when traditional ideas of manhood are facing scrutiny and such terms as toxic masculinity are becoming more widely known through the Me Too movement, the group aims to provide new ways for men to express themselves. Guys, we could play racquetball. That's another way we could express ourselves. We don't have to cuddle, you know? A lot of ways we can express ourselves. Finger painting comes to mind. So often we're taught that to be an emotional stoic is the mark of manhood, said Scott Turner, a 46-year-old interior designer and co-founder of the group. If you show any emotional weakness or vulnerability, that's a failure to your title of a man. But if we expect men to be emotionally sensitive to the needs of others, they first need to be able to build an emotional vocabulary, he said. Part of that involves learning that physical touch extends beyond aggression or sex. Platonic affection can be a doorway to emotional closeness. It's not the ends of what we're doing, Turner said. It's part of a larger toolbox of healing. Unlike professional cuddling services, which are gaining popularity in cities across the United States, it's spreading. The group charges no fees, and members are not required to undergo any training. Okay. What could go wrong? Although the meetups are not open to the public, members must be interviewed and approved. Okay, that's good. I thought it was just totally open to the public. Like, what? Free cuddles? Like every creature you can imagine crawling out of the sewers to go be a part of this free cuddle fest. Victims? Yes. Yeah. At the beginning of the session, everyone agreed not to engage in sexual touch. Okay, that's important to know. And to ask for consent before each action. Oh my goodness. They gathered in a huddle and breathed meditatively. The cuddling started with, we'll read a little more. I don't need to know a lot about this. The cuddling started with men pairing up to do, quote, the motorcycle hold. Oh boy. Man, you totally had me in the best motorcycle hold, man. I just wanted to give you a hug, man. Thanks. That was, you're good, man. You're good. The cuddling started with men pairing up to do the motorcycle hold. How can I say that with a straight face? Motorcycle. Dude, do you mind if I get you in a motorcycle hold? You look like you could use one. In which one man sits with his back against another man's chest. No thanks. As if they were riding together on a motorcycle. Too close for comfort. For me. I guess I'm Generation X. What are you going to do? But Generation X is also responsible for metrosexualism. You know, that also started in our... I have nothing to do with that, but you know, these are those seeds were planted long ago, you know, and now we have a lot of stuff like this happening. That's the way I see it, I guess. I'm just old-fashioned, I suppose. I don't want to do a motorcycle hold on any dude. Have them do one on me, but this sounds interesting. For the second half of the session, the men cuddled as one large group in what they call a puppy pile. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Men lay with their heads in each other's laps, chatted and joked. But the puppy pile. Yeah, babe, I really can't meet up with you tonight, man. I gotta get over to the Cuddle Fest. Can't miss out on that puppy pile. I don't know. Hey, if it's really healing people, that's good and that's fine. I'm not trying to be mean. It's okay, It's just, I feel like there's other options than getting your hands on other men like that. I don't know. I guess I'm just old-fashioned. Many men never learn healthy ways to deal with stress, this person says. Then it can emerge in harmful ways. But there are so many other ways to deal with stress other than, putting another man on a motorcycle hold. I'm just saying. All right. No offense, if you're into that thing, if you guys, maybe there's some cuddle people that'll listen to this, Just, I guess I'm just old-fashioned. Let's see here. Leftist thug beats and kicks 85-year-old pro-life protester outside of San Fran Planned Parenthood facility. I only think things like this are important every now and then, just to show the level of hatred and violence that's happening out there, especially around this subject there. And this to me really brings out the monster in all kinds of people, regardless of race or sex or whatever. You see them all, but people associated with that Planned Parenthood, a lot of them seem like monsters to me.
Old man, stay on the ground. On the ground, old man.
Sorry, I forgot to give you the context. This guy that's on camera right now, he's got a pro-life banner that the old man had created. They were at a Planned Parenthood thing or whatever. So the older man, I guess him and some friends had made this big banner that's, pro-life. And this young guy here didn't like it. So he took the whole banner, and as the video starts, you see him walking with the banner, and then the elderly man catches up with him and tries to get it back. This is it's the level of hate and violence that's manifesting in people right now, some of this.
Old man, stay on the ground. Stay on the ground, old man, unless you want to get hurt.
And that's it. And I really wouldn't want to watch much more, but just unbelievable. Does this guy not have a grandpa? Maybe he did and hated him. I don't know. But has he never dealt with older folks? Unbelievable. We'll read here. An unknown assailant has repeatedly disrupted, harassed, and attacked a peaceful pro-life prayer vigil in San Francisco. On Thursday, March 14th, an 85-year-old pro-life advocate was the victim of a brutal attack outside a San Francisco Planned Parenthood facility. The pro-lifer was participating in a peaceful 40 Days for Life campaign when the assailant stole the victim's banner and viciously beat him. The same assailant had assaulted the victim and another man just 2 days prior. The elderly man tried to stop the theft of the banner by putting a stick holding the banner into the spokes of the bicycle. The perpetrator shoved the man to the ground and began violently and repeatedly kicking and threatening him. The San Francisco 40 Days for Life team was victimized by the same man earlier in the week. On Tuesday, the perpetrator threw a sign, table, and a pro-life literature into the street. He knocked 2 men to the ground during the incident as well, including the same elderly pro-lifer. Okay. Seems like they told us the same thing 4 times just now, but either way, we get the point, and it's a shame. This stuff really affects me, the attacks on the weird stuff against the babies, hey, daddy's little F toy, mixed with this kind of stuff, the attacks on the elderly, to me, it shows a spirit. It shows that there's certainly a spirit out there, and I feel it's manifesting more in some people. It's terrible. Here's one. Thought was interesting. Christian Republican accused of weaponizing Jesus' name in prayer in front of a Muslim Democrat. How dare they? I'm saving this one too. This will go in a video also. These will be pieces. Because that's it's kind of where we're heading. That's where we're heading with a lot of this stuff. Typically, the opening prayer is the least controversial portion of the Pennsylvania House of Representatives ceremony on a session day. But this Monday's prayer, delivered by freshman rep Stephanie Borowitz, ignited a much different reaction. The Christian lawyer was accused by House Minority Whip Jordan Harris of weaponizing the name of Jesus to intimidate, demean, and degrade the Muslim being sworn into the legislature that day. I, Jesus, am your ambassador here today, standing here representing you, Borowitz said in the opening. The King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the great I am, the one who's coming back again, the one who came, died, and rose again on the third day. And I'm so privileged to stand here today, so thank you for this honor, Jesus. She continued mentioning the founding fathers who established our Christian faith in America and had proceeded to ask for forgiveness that we've lost sight of that in today's world. God, forgive us, she said. Jesus, we've lost sight of you. We've forgotten you, God, in our country, and we're asking you to forgive us. At approximately the 2-minute mark, Borowitz stated, at the name of Jesus, every knee will bow and every tongue will confess, Jesus, that you are Lord, at which point House Speaker Mike Turzai cut her off with the tap of a shoulder. The prayer was particularly criticized because it was recited on the day that the first Muslim woman rep, Movita Johnson Harrell, will be sworn in. However, Borowitz, whose husband is a pastor at a local church, saw nothing wrong with professing her faith in that manner. Let me be clear, I'm a Christian. I spend my Sunday mornings in church, worshiping and being thankful for all that I have, she said. But in no way does that mean I would flaunt my religion at those who worship differently than I do. There's no room in our Capitol building for actions such as this. And it's incredibly disappointing that today's opening prayer was so divisive. Johnson Harrell took great offense to the invocation delivered by Borowitz and told the Pennsylvania Canadian or Capital Star that her colleagues' comments blatantly represented the Islamophobia that exists among some leaders that are supposed to represent the people. However, in spite of the backlash, Borowitz refuses to apologize for lifting the name of Jesus on high in public. Oh no, she explained, I don't apologize ever for praying. There it is. Ruh-roh. They gone and done it. New male birth control pill passes safety tests and it might be released soon. A society of sex with no consequences. That's the surface idea, right? Sex always has consequences. New male birth control pill passes safety tests and it might be released soon. Birth control options have changed a lot over the past few decades. The female birth control pill in its various forms has long been considered the gold standard in preventing unwanted pregnancies, besides abstinence, of course, but figuring out how to make a similar pill for men has proven very challenging. Now, researchers presenting their work at the annual meeting of the Endocrine Society in New Orleans have revealed that a new male birth control pill is showing promise, and it's already passed safety and tolerability tests. The tests showed that the drug was able to suppress sperm production while leaving libido intact. They've gone and done it. People are going to go crazy over this thing. The drug is called 11-beta-MNTDC. It has a dual action function that researchers say has proven suitable for the 30 men who volunteered to test it. In testing, which included a smaller sample of men who were randomly selected to receive a placebo instead of the drug, those who took it said they did not experience any severe side effects. One of the biggest issues with testing of male birth control pills in the past was dramatically decreased sex drive among the men who tested it. This is obviously something of a deal breaker for many, but this drug is different, and only a handful of the men who tested it said they experienced a mildly decreased sex drive. Other minor side effects included reports of headaches and acne, but none were severe enough for the volunteers to stop taking the drug. You totally know what they're going to do. One of these companies now is going to eventually create a drug that's, it's like another Viagra mixed with this stuff, right? It's like they'll call it the perfect sex pill, Crazy. Crazy what they be doing in them labs. Big pharma. I bet you guys saw this. This is kind of a big deal. This went mainstream. What do you think about this? I don't even know what What? Shh. You hear him over there? What? Huh? What's going on? All right, there's a petting. Sorry, Chubbs had to jump in. I'm gonna make this a little bigger and we'll watch some of this. It's only about a minute, but if you haven't seen it, it's nuts. And even if you have seen it, it's still nuts. Look at this. I don't know what I think about this. I know it's weird. Watch. Poor kids. I think having that guy bless anything. Come on, really? What do you think about that? Like, is that the real him manifesting? What's really inside him manifesting? A lot of us theorize if this is the false pope or the false prophet. He's a Jesuit. He's pushing all the, Agenda 2030, climate change and all this stuff. A little climate change. They love that climate change. So he's pushing all that. I did a few videos on this in the past. There's tons of symbolism, interesting symbolism around Agenda 2030 and everything they're pushing, man. It's the new world order. That's what it is. And the Pope, I did a video recently about him creating Chrislam, essentially creating Chrislam. So he's already starting the one world religion that we're going to see. He's a part of it, part of creating it. Interesting footage, huh? Who does that? I don't know, really? What good reason is there for that? Surely there's videos of other popes in the past. To be interesting to see if they did anything like that or if they let the people kiss the ring. I mean, it's ridiculous anyway. I mean, we see it, but devout Catholics don't, It's like it's a big deal to a lot of these people. It means a lot, It's like the holiest of holy on the earth, for some of these people. Cancer cluster. See, I was saving this one. I wanted to save this story, but it's still going to go in a future video. But it's hey, red alert, man. Here we go. Cancer cluster at California elementary school results in removal of Sprint cell phone tower. Red alert. Red alert. This is important. It's a really important story. Western Elementary School in Ripon, California went on high alert after the controversy erupted 2 years ago, with some parents even pulling their children from school over the tower, which Sprint has been paying the school $2,000 per month to place on its property. Follow the money. The Ripon Unified School District initially defended the cell phone tower earlier this month, with board president Kit Ose saying tests done on the tower had found it was operating within safety standards. Monica Ferrulli, whose son was treated for brain cancer in 2017, said RUSD has cited an obsolete American Cancer Society study in keeping the tower in place since the controversy erupted 2 years ago. It is just denial, Ferrulli told the board. She vowed that parents will continue to fight and keep their children out of the school. Around 200 parents attended a meeting after a fourth student was diagnosed with cancer on March 8th. Richard Rex, whose family lives across the street from Weston School, said a bump appeared on his 11-year-old son's abdomen a month ago. He said his son's classroom is near the tower. The parents first thought it was a skating injury. Instead of going to science camp, 11-year-old Brad was taken to doctors for examinations and tests that found a tumor wrapped around his liver. The boy now has a portal for starting cancer treatment, the parents said. Richard Rex said he's hearing different options from treating the cancer. They said they can shrink it and cut it out. They also say, or they're also talking about a liver transplant. It's very scary, he says. 4 students, really? The potential negative health effects from electromagnetic fields emitted by cell towers or transmission lines have been long debated. While the National Cancer Institute cites studies which conclude that EMFs are a possible human carcinogen based on research which focused on childhood leukemia, the Institute's website says there are no increased risks from brain tumors or other cancers based on European epidemiological studies. According to notices posted by RUSD, the school district hired engineers for an evaluation in 2018 on the cell tower's compliance with guidelines for limiting human exposure to electromagnetic radiation. The testing found exposure levels for people nearby were below the federal standard. That's scary anyway. If it's actually below the federal standard, it's still causing kids cancer. Wow, what's the standard gonna do? Right? It's interesting. Oh, let me see. I guess I'll do this one. So this one's kind of out of left field. I guess I can play some of this. I just thought it was kind of weird. A new false prophet. New false prophet on the scene. Prophet Elijah anoints the Messiah on Purim. So I guess this guy thinks he's the Messiah. Hi, Chubbs. What's up? It's good to hear from you. Everyone says hi. The prophet Elijah anoints the Messiah, Lord Rael, on Purim. Prophecy has been fulfilled. There's 28 comments. There's people that are into this. Let's see what happens. We'll watch a little bit of this. I guess prophecy has been fulfilled. What they say.
Thank you all for coming. Today, very glorious day, we are anointing the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, Lord Rael. Today is the greatest day in history, and I'm very thankful that all of you here have joined us, and all of you at home are joining us today. The Lord right now is praying, and we will wait for him to be done, and then I will anoint him. So as we wait, let's give thanks to God for this glorious day. Because the Lord, the God of Abraham, God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob says, by my power and authority I anoint you, King of Israel, King of the whole earth. Your kingdom will be eternal and never be uprooted. May you reign with truth, justice, and mercy, guided by the power and wisdom of the Holy Spirit of God. Amen. Christ, Lord, as King. Hail, King Rael.
How many of you are crying right now? Just kidding. Anyway, I want to share some of that because apparently some kind of prophecy has been fulfilled that I didn't know about. That's Lord Rael, they say. This is the King of Kings. Apparently, is this Lord Rael? What is he saying?
Justice incarnate. Our Father has entrusted every one of us, and we shall not fail him.
Look at this guy over on the right-hand side. Is he playing a video game or something? Oh, okay. It looks like he might be recording. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
You work with us.
Anyway, I can't watch much more of that, but I thought that was it's interesting. It's interesting. They say prophecy has been fulfilled. Jacinda Ardern calls for global effort to shut down online hate speech. No thanks, Jacinda. Please don't. Because it's going to be somebody from the left that tells us what hate speech is, I'm sure. That seems to always be the case. Anytime they do this hate speech thing, it's somebody like Southern Poverty Law Center or Snopes, you know, anytime there's a, right? It's like they always go to these leftist type people and organizations to help out with the censorship. So no thanks, Jacinda. You can just have a sit, all right? Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern has called for a coordinated global effort to tackle online hate speech. It comes after Facebook announced it would tighten regulations by banning posts, photos, and other content that promotes and supports white nationalism and white separatism, which they always use that, but that is such a small minority, little bitty, teeny, tiny group of people and groups. It really is. But then they'll use those trigger words when they talk about Republicans or conservatives, and that's how they kind of pull it all in together, or Christians, right? Speaking in Christchurch, yep, this is part of why that happened, I'm sure, at least a part of it, in my opinion. Speaking in Christchurch on Thursday ahead of Friday's remembrance service for the victims of the attacks, Ardern applauded the move by the social media giant, but said there was more work to do. So see, they're going to just try to just rip rights away. They do it in America. They try this all the time in America too. Sorry, New Zealand. Looks like it's your turn now. Looks like it's your turn. The Australian government is looking to introduce legislation to penalize social media companies if they do not restrain the spread of extremist material. Now that'll be what's extremist material? And who defines that? And once it's defined, how long until there's a new definition? YouTube does that all the time, where they've done it a few times, changing their community guidelines, right? Ireland, Germany, okay. Ardern said the proposals reflect the broader international community's view that more needs to be done to resolve the problem we face while preserving a free, open, and secure internet. She said, I do believe that New Zealand has a role to play in this debate and in much-needed reform. I'm focused on working collaboratively to find meaningful solutions. Jacinda needs to have a sit. She needs to sit down. Right? The government is now finalizing the terms of reference for a royal commission of inquiry into the actions by the security agencies ahead of the attacks. All right. We see where this is going. I think we get it, Jacinda. You need to have a sit now. Yeah, well, we've been talking about this subject some. It's funny how these stories come in clumps throughout the weeks. We'll find a few on the same subjects, it seems. Shocking video shows Arizona police officers forcing their way into a home to remove an unvaccinated toddler. So the vaccines, they're really pushing the vaccines. A lot of stories about this. Who had 105-degree fever after a doctor reported his parents to the authorities. In the video, the officers from the Chandler Police Department are seen kicking down a door to the home with their guns drawn and holding what appeared to be a police shield as they entered with caution. Just some rando family here. They're just, oh yeah, full bore. The officers were at the home to remove the 2-year-old boy after a doctor reported his family to the Arizona Department of Child Safety. The doctor feared the child might have meningitis when he actually had an upper respiratory infection instead. Cool. Come on. According to ABC 15, the naturopathic doctor told DCS that the child had not been vaccinated after his parents brought him in for a checkup in February with a fever of more than 100 degrees. The doctor then told the parents to take the child to the emergency room, but his fever broke after the doctor's visit, so they never went. When the doctor found out that the parents never took the child to the emergency room, he immediately called DCS to get the government involved, all right? DCS then called Chandler Police to check on the child. According to ABC, the boy's father refused to let police inside the home. The officers returned a short time later with a search warrant and forced their way into the home after the family didn't respond to their orders. State Representative Kelly Townsend, who helped get legislation passed that requires DCS to get a search warrant to remove children from their home in a non-injury situation, condemned the incident. All right, there you go. There it is. There it is. Oh yeah, here's the other Scientology story I was warning you about. Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is considered a deity by Scientologists, as low-ranking members are ordered to watch the actor's films multiple times. That is imprinting, if ever I've heard of it. Mind control technique here. Tom Cruise is considered a deity within the Church of Scientology. Leah Remini, who was a Scientologist till 2013, has never been shy when it comes to spilling secrets of the controversial church and its most famous member. There was a cool kind of a documentary type show about Leah Remini sometime over the last couple of years where she did a lot of AMC, not AMC. Maybe it was AMC. It's one of those channels. The channel has Intervention on it, whatever that one is. But anyway, and she was exposing a lot of Scientology stuff. It was interesting. Now the King of Queens, Star 48, has said the Mission Impossible actor 56 is like a god to the members of the church. Tom Cruise is considered a deity within Scientology. He's second to David Miscavige, the savior of the free world. It was also reported that lower-ranking Scientologists are told by their leaders to see Cruise's movies, with thousands of tickets apparently bought for his Mission Impossible and Jack Reacher franchises to increase the actor's box office. Ex-Scientologist Bree Mood, that's a name, Bree Mood, who left the church a few months ago, said Tom Cruise was a god in the lower ranks. Every time a Tom Cruise movie came out, they'd buy all his tickets. It could be 500, 1,000, up to 2,500 people. I'm not kidding. Cruise has been a member of the church since 1990 and is known for his close relationship with Scientology's current leader, David Miscavige. I don't know how to say it. And the actor's importance was apparent when he and fellow Scientologist John Travolta were placed front and center at the L. Ron Hubbard birthday event on March 9th in Clearwater, Florida, according to Scientology blog The Underground Bunker. The comments come after Cruise and Nicole Kidman's adopted daughter Isabella credited the church for providing the missing piece in her life after undertaking extensive training to become an auditor. In an email instantly shared with London-based Scientologists and subsequently published on Scientology blog The Underground Bunker, the 26-year-old claimed she was drowning in problems before qualifying for the role. That's Tom Cruise's daughter, Isabella. She, too, is a Scientologist now, it seems. Oh, boy. Reflecting on her training, she wrote, "It turned out it was exactly what I needed. I dragged out the testing and correction, just made it through the drilling, and then finally began my auditing adventure. And wow, I wasn't prepared. This is what I had been searching for, the missing piece." The qualification now means Isabella, who lives in the English capital with husband Max Parker, is able to guide others through the process. A question and answer session that involves using a rudimentary lie detector referred to as an E-meter to rid new members of negativity. That sounds disturbing. It's a few meltdowns and running to the bathroom to have a mini episode, but it is worth everything because you will get through. This is a gift to yourself and to many others. She advised others of the training required. Blah, 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 blah. Ew, sheesh. Weird stuff. Creepy dude. I've seen a couple of his movies on like HBOs and stuff will pop up, and these are the newer ones. And sometimes I really want to like the movie. You know, maybe it's a good story. There's some cool action scene I'll see, but it's just him. I can't get over him. He's just creepy. He gives me the creeps. I tell you. Man, I just saw this story this week. Gay sex and adultery will be punishable by stoning to death, and thieves will be amputated. That sucks. Thieves will be amputated under vicious new Sharia laws brought in by Brunei. I'm just going to read a little bit. Brunei already has Sharia law with homosexuality punishable with 10 years in jail. Under new laws from next week, gay people could be whipped or stoned to death. Muslims found guilty of adultery, sodomy, and rape could also be put to death. Amnesty branded laws vicious and called for international pressure on Brunei. Wow. Homosexuality, 10 years in jail, or you got options, or you could be whipped or stoned to death. And here in America, it's like, the bakery wouldn't make our cake for our wedding. Oh, man. People don't even know how good they got it. They don't even know how good they got it. 10 years in jail for being gay. These people don't play. Sharia law don't play. Whipped or stoned to death. At least you've got options. So yeah, but here in America, it's just so soft, right? People are so soft. People get triggered and freak out, you know, if you don't make them a cake for their gay wedding or whatever. Right? I know that's just one of many cases like that where homosexual couples or individuals will claim, "Oh my gosh, you know, you're doing this because I'm gay. No." And they have breakdowns and freakouts. And meanwhile, in Sharia law land, 10 years in jail. Or you got options. Or you could be whipped or stoned to death. Yeah. No Sharia law, thank you. I'll pass. On all levels. Because it's not just homosexuals that get abused and tormented under Sharia law. It's an incredibly religious system. A dangerously religious system. Childbirth, burns, and missing teeth. Meet the woman who feels no pain and could open doors for new generations of medicines. A pensioner who feels no pain or fear could open the door to a new generation of pain relief and anxiety medications after scientists discovered the genetic mutations that make her so rare. That's her. I'm not trying to be funny or mean or anything, but she looks like Geddy Lee. from Rush to me. It reminds me of Geddy Lee from Rush. For decades, Joe Cameron, just by looks, I'm not trying to be, I'm just saying that it's, when I first saw the picture, I was like, oh, it's Geddy Lee from Rush. And today is Tom Sawyer. He's a man. You know, I was wrong. For decades, Joe Cameron has been cheerfully bumping, burning, and bruising herself in all manner of mishap, yet she never stopped to ask why her injuries did not hurt. She gave birth to both of her children without once resorting to drugs. She laughs off offers of anesthetic during dental work, and when she burns herself while cooking on the Rayburn in her Scottish Highlands home. Often, the first she knows about it is the smell of her own burning flesh. Virtually nothing worries her. When a wayward white van careened into her car on a remote country road, leaving her upside down in a ditch, it was she, totally unfazed, who found herself comforting the driver. It was not until Miss Cameron's 60s, as she was preparing for an arthritis operation on her hand, that she, or anyone in the medical profession, first suspected she was different. My anesthesiologist said, "You will definitely need strong painkillers after this because it can be very brutal." I said, "I bet I won't." When she came around after the operation and saw that I was right, he said, "This really isn't normal." This followed an operation to repair severe joint degeneration on her hip, which specialists had refused her twice because the key diagnostic criterion was pain. Now 71, Miss Cameron, who lives with her husband Jim near Loch Ness, cool. Be cool to live by Loch Ness, see some monsters, has become the focus of intense research by scientists eager to establish if her sky-high pain threshold can be traced to the same location in her genome as her fearless and optimistic qualities. The researchers were further spurred on to investigate a genetic explanation by Miss Cameron's recollection of her late father as a man who, quote, hardly ever complained and was never seen to take a painkiller in his life. Interesting. It's like that movie, not Split, but Glass. It's like that, kind of reminds me of that. Some people are out there with real superpowers, you know, but it's more realistic. Anyway, interesting. It's like Glass. Today is Tom Sawyer. He's a meme. I'm sorry. It just looked like that, you know? AI can predict when someone will die with unsettling accuracy. Medical researchers have unlocked an unsettling ability in artificial intelligence predicting a person's early death. Scientists recently trained an AI system to evaluate a decade of general health data submitted by more than 500,000 people in the UK. Then they asked the AI with predicting if individuals were at risk of dying prematurely. In other words, sooner than the average life expectancy from chronic disease, they reported in a new study. The predictions of early death that were made by AI algorithms were significantly more accurate, creepy, than predictions delivered by a model that did not use machine learning. Yeesh. So they start explaining I don't want to hear about all the boring parts of it, but that's just interesting. AI can predict when someone will die with unsettling accuracy. You know what? I have to look up. I'm going to have to look up. I thought I had my Doom break up here somewhere. I've been waiting on it, but I guess I didn't. So I'm going to have to go get it here in a second, the one I was expecting. Another one, just a short one here. Deus Ex Machina, is that how you say it? Deus Ex. Religions use robots to connect with the public. The 15th century had the printing press. Today, a handful of religious institutions are developing interactive machines to share doctrine and converse with the faithful. So this is unfortunately one of those sites I've got to subscribe or sign in, so I can't read anymore. But I just thought it was interesting, the connection with religions and robots. After this, I'm going to go dig up what I wanted to show you. Why do so many pets keep jumping off of the dog suicide bridge in Scotland? Have you ever heard of this? I've heard this story throughout the years. I'm familiar with this. It's just still amazing. It's still happening. Dumbarton, Scotland. I was sure she was dead. Lottie McKinnon. They always have cute names, it seems, out there in Scotland, I feel. Lottie. That's a cute name, isn't it? And Bonnie. Ah, I like that. Lottie and Bonnie. Lottie McKinnon said quietly. McKinnon was sitting huddled in the corner of a cafe with her 2 children, sipping hot chocolate, as she described the day 3 years ago when she was walking with the border collie Bonnie over the Overton Bridge in Dumbarton, Scotland. Something overcame Bonnie as soon as we approached the bridge, McKinnon said. At first she froze, but then she became possessed by a strange energy and ran and jumped right off the parapet. A bewitched dog lured to leap off a bridge by a malevolent force? It sounds like a preposterous scene straight out of an old Twilight Zone episode. But McKinnon's dog is one of hundreds that Scots insist have suddenly been compelled to throw themselves off the Gothic stone structure since the 1950s. Many have ended up dead on the jagged rocks in the deep valley below. Residents of Dumbarton, which is northwest of Glasgow, began calling Overtorn a century-old bridge that stretches across a 50-foot gorge, the Dog Suicide Bridge. McKinnon, who grew up in the neighboring village of Milton, winced at the memory of scurrying down. Okay, I just want to see. Local researchers estimate more than 300 dogs have sailed off that bridge. Tabloid reports say it's 600, and at least 50 dogs are said to have died. Huh. That's wild. Anyway, that'd be an interesting one to look into if you're curious about that. The Dog Suicide Bridge in Scotland. Let me see here. KRING News Team. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Here we go. Hopefully this is the clip. This is the this right here is the big doom break for the evening. This is what I was thinking we were gonna have up there. I thought I'd put it up there, but I guess I didn't. But now I did. Now we're gonna watch it together. Watch as Ohio news team's experiment in teen slang leaves viewers cringing. Indeed, it do. Today, please. Probably a bunch of advertisements or something out here. Oh, come on, really? Let me just try this. Oh, that sucks. It's the worst it's been as far as trying to load something. Hopefully that's the video. Stupid BuzzFeed. This is a mission now. I've got to get it. There we go. Okay, let's watch this. Trust me, it's worth it. At least I think it is. Hey, it's the last video of the night. We had a good night. It's been a couple hours, so we took a little time to find the last video. It's okay. Seems to be loading quicker than the other one. Oh man, okay, that's it. It looks like we got Rick rolled. This is some other dumb YouTube channel that's ay. Just not seeing it, guys. Sorry. Womp, womp, womp. Well, hey, whatever. That's all right. I guess we'll end it there. But if you want to, just look up Ohio news anchor cringe. All right. And you'll find the video somewhere out there. We spent a couple minutes on it, but hey, it's all right. We got our a couple hours in this evening, which was fantastic, man. It was a lot of fun hanging out with you guys as always. I'm going to jump over here to the chat room real quick, see what's going on with everybody. And yeah, man, just thanks again for being here, you guys. Much appreciated. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you had a good time. I got a brand new video I just finished up earlier this evening, and I'll be putting that out tomorrow morning, and then it's on to the next after that. So thanks again to my Patreon friends out there, PayPal friends and support out there too. And just thanks to all of you, man. Have a great night. Have a great week. I got more work coming up, more videos and whatnot. And until then, just take care of yourselves, guys. And thanks again for being here, man. All right. See you around.